Okay, I can't even believe I'm making a video about this, but I guess it is kind of topical. So, let's talk about money. Everyone likes money, I like money, It's nice to have. It's good, buy shit. Got this new microphone with money, this new webcam, and yeah, money's good. So, the Powerball, which is a... Nice, Duchess, just walk into my shot. Okay, bye. The Powerball, which is a lottery drawing in America... in most of America anyway. There's a few states where it's not valid or not picked up yet. But the Powerball is the largest lottery in terms of a cash annuity that it's gotten up to. And it just broke I think it's a world record for the highest amount that a lottery has ever been at $1.3 billion. It's the first time in my life I can ever recall of any kind of jackpot getting that high. Of course, after annuities taken out, it'll be $800 million that the person will receive. So this is more than anything. This is not me, talking so much about that particularly. It's just I feel really bad for the poor son of a bitch that wins that money. Because let's talk about this for a second, all right? On the surface, it's everything you ever dreamed of, right? On the surface, you're working a shitty job, or you're still in school, and you got loans to pay, and you got bills to pay, and you got a house mortgage, and you got car insurance, and you got all that shit that just drains the fuck out of your bank account every month. So, on the surface, you look at that, and you're like, that shining steeple, $800 million, holy fuck shit, I can pay back all my student loans, I can pay all my freaking bills, I can buy a mansion, I can buy all my cars, I can afford a second house, I can do this, I can do all that stuff I've always wanted to do, I can travel, my family will be taken care of financially for the rest of my life, and for my children's lives, and for my grandchildren's lives with this money. This will be the most amazing thing ever if I win. It'll be like a dream came true. It's not as simple as everyone thinks it is. And I'm not an accountant. I'm not some sort of analyst when it comes to money or anything, so I'm not even going to be scratching the surface on the problems with this. But even me, fucking 22-year-old college student who's in the field of communications and journalism, not even discussing anything involving money, really, knows that you have a major problem here when you just get dropped $800 million at your fucking doorstep. Now, I believe there's an option that you don't get all the money at once. I think you can if you desire it, but if the other option is you receive like a certain amount every year for like 30 years or something like that, which would be the better alternative, I would think. Because let's imagine this. Let's just go through some situations here. You buy some Powerball tickets, okay? And the drawing is on this Wednesday. And I even bought some Powerball tickets right here. They're sitting in my fucking trash. They're fucking losers. I bought 3 of them. My mom bought 7. I know I'm friends with some people at the Get-Go gas station where, it was freaking nuts. So, and that was back when the jackpot was only $900 million or $500 million after the deduction. And, yeah, they must have sold thousands of tickets over the course of just a few days. It was just absolutely absurd. But now that it's up to $1.3 billion, it's going to be kind of scary. But anyway, let's just imagine this, okay? You buy a Powerball ticket. Wednesday night, it comes on. You win the jackpot. You're looking at your fucking tickets. And it's like you're matching it up, and it's clicking in your head. You check it like 3 or 4 goddamn times because you just don't think it's possible. You just don't think it's possible that you have won this amazing jackpot. But after about the 6th or 7th time, you've ran through the numbers, and you have concluded that, yes, the numbers that you are looking at are the same numbers that are on your ticket. And you realize that you are now a multi-millionaire. Of course, you're going to be happy. You're going to be giddy with joy. Wherever you are, you're going to be jumping up and down. If you're at home, you're going to wake everybody up in your house. You're going to wake your fucking neighbors up. If you're at work, if you're working like some shitty night shift job or whatever, you're going to be walking into your boss's office and he's like, "Fuck you, man, I'm out of here." And you're just going to walk the hell out of there, and you're going to get in your car, and you're going to drive home screaming out of the fucking window, "Woo, king of the world!" That's all well and good, and the initial happiness, it's always great. You just found, it's like Christmas, it's just like you got this thing that you wanted so bad that's going to make your life so much better, or so you say. So you're gonna probably the first thing you're gonna do after you've calmed down a bit is you're going to tell your family. You're going to tell your family about it, of course, your wife or your husband or whoever you are, if you want, your children, your parents, your really close relatives. You're going to explain to them what just happened. And they're all probably going to have different ideas of what to do with the money. They might ask, oh, what are you going to do with it? Oh, no, what you should do. So already, you're going to be getting people telling you what you should or should not do with the money. And at the moment, you're probably not that concerned because this is your family we're talking about here, okay? This is just your family. They're telling you, oh, maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do this. Are you going to do this? Are you going to do this? You know, you're maybe a little bit of twinge of annoying, like, oh, damn, this is already kind of like a little bit annoying. But, you know, fuck it, whatever. I'm a multimillionaire. I'll do whatever I want. You know, because you're still got the happiness going on here. All right, well, the thing that they can do is they can actually find out if there's a winning ticket or not, even if you do not come forth with your winning ticket, because all this shit is kept track of on the machines, you know. So that's how last night, after the drawing was for the Powerball, within like a few minutes or an hour or so after the Powerball drawing, even though, of course, it was late at night and no one could have come forth with the ticket, there was already the report that nobody had won the jackpot. In all the people that played, not a single person had won the jackpot, because this is all on record. So they can do that. You'll often hear stories about this, like, well, the individual did not come forth, but it was sold at this small Sheets in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and they'll give the address of the place, you know. So even if they don't, if you don't come forward, they know somebody won and they know where you bought the ticket at. Now, it depends on how you want to do this in terms of publicity. Part of you might actually want the publicity. Part of you might want to be like, yeah, I want everyone to know I won. Other part of you might be like, oh shit, I don't want to be the public eye here, you know? But you gotta cash the money at some point. Here's what you need to do, though. Like, seriously, before you do anything, before you come forth with that ticket, really before you tell anybody, like, you should probably do this before you even inform your family. Now, if you're living, like, I don't even know, if you're living in, like, a house with, like, your spouse and you have kids, you know, and you think, like, oh, I gotta tell them, they're my family. You know, even if you tell them, I mean, if you tell kids this, I mean, they're gonna be going around blabbing it to everyone. You know, yay, we're millionaires, I can have all this money now. So I would do this even before you tell your family, is hire a lawyer, okay? Because what just happened is you got taken from probably the middle class of America to the upper class. Not even just the upper class. You got put into the fucking 1% or the 0.1% of this country. You're not quite in, like, the Forbes 500 yet, because those are all, like, freaking billionaires at that point. But you're pretty high up there. And additional taxes are going to be taken out, so probably, even if the 800 million is probably also not what you're going to get straight up. It's probably going to be closer to maybe, like, you know, 500-600 million, but still, ridiculous amount of money that you probably would never have seen before in your life. But yeah, so you get the money. You know, you got to get a lawyer first. You got to get somebody to, you know, figure all this shit out on what you're going to do. Because people in this country that have that much money or more than that money, like actual billionaires, you know, they gain that money gradually. And even if they didn't, even if they came through with some revolutionary idea and they just got like $1 billion overnight, which does happen, they still have entire teams of people that help them out with this. You're all on your own. You're all by yourself in this game. All you have is yourself, and, you know, if you don't have any expertise in this, if you don't have any education, or if you're not like a lawyer yourself or don't know how any of this stuff works, it's just you all by yourself with basically a $500 million bill in your hand. You know? So get a lawyer and, you know, figure something out with them. But now you have to enter the glorious idea of the fact you're not going to be able to keep this under wraps. Even if you don't, you know, even if you get your money anonymously, which I don't even know if there's a way you can do that, there probably is, but even if you do get your money anonymously and you avoid a huge crowd, people are going to know who the fucking the new multimillionaire is on the block here. Your best bet is actually to move away. That would probably be your best bet. Because if you are all of a sudden, selling your house and buying all this expensive shit, people are going to notice, okay? And what do you do with your friends? Let's think about this. I mean, your friends, the people that you talk to every day, the people that you probably joke to about winning the Powerball. Like, I was at a gas station the other day, a little like convenience store. We were getting food. I was with my friends, four of us, and I bought this Powerball ticket there in the machine. And of course, we're joking around. Me and my friend Jesse were just like, "Hey, what are you gonna do if you win the million? The jackpot?" He's like, "Can you give me $1 million? I'll give you $1 million. I'll give Chris $2 million." I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck, dude? What happens if I actually win that?" And I come forth and I tell all my friends. If I tell all my friends, they're at least going to blab it to some people. That's not the kind of thing you can just keep under wraps. Oh yeah, my friend Matt is now a multi-millionaire. Yeah, I'm not going to tell anyone. No, you're going to go and you're going to tell somebody. It's nothing against you. It's nothing against you. It's just, it's common human nature. There's no way you can keep that shit a secret. It would just eat away at you. You wouldn't be able to, Same thing with me. I can't keep a secret for that shit. I'm not even claiming that I could. But, let's say you don't tell your friends. Let's say you cash the ticket anonymously, you have a lawyer, you have a team, you have all that figured out. So, you figure out where you're going to put your money, what your money's going to go into, how much you're going to invest, and like the interest rate and all that crap. And maybe you've told your close members of your family, but beyond that, you keep it a secret. Imagine what that's going to do to your friendship. They're going to come up to you and be like, "What do you mean you won that much money and you didn't tell me? I've been your best friend since like 5th grade, man. Why didn't you tell me?" Is money worth more to you than friendship? In this case, it kind of is, because that's kind of a dick thing to say. But when it comes to that, you now have a friend that's aware that you're a multi-millionaire. And the fact that you've known each other since 5th grade, let's just use that example, that's not going to be helping you out. That's going to be worse off. Because now that your friend is going to feel somewhat like you're obligated to give me money. We've been friends for so long. I've been friends with you since before you were a multimillionaire. So you should help me out, man. You know how many bills I have to pay? My house, I can barely afford that. I have a shitty car. And you, my best friend since 5th grade, who's a multimillionaire. You need to help me out with this shit. And of course you're going to give them money. Of course you're going to help your friends out. It's like, okay, here, take 100,000. Here, take 200,000. It's going to come up again, though. You can't just keep tossing money at everybody. The second you start tossing money out there, everyone else is going to want to bite. Everyone else. And you have two options at this point. You can either fulfill their desires. You can just start throwing out money. Like, you get $10,000. Okay, you want some? You get $10,000. But that swarm is never going to die down. That swarm is never going to go away. Okay? There's never going to be a shortage of people out your front door wanting that fucking money, wanting some freaking bite of the pie. That's never going to go away no matter how much money you give. Never going to happen. Or you could become just a fucking recluse. You could become like fucking Mr. Burns on The Simpsons. You could just hide away and just never give any money to anyone. And then, of course, people will come to you and be like, "My child is sick and they're dying. Aren't you going to help me?" And, of course, that's a sad story. But there's hundreds of thousands of millions of equally sad stories all over the world. This world does not have any shortage of people suffering. There's people sitting in hospital beds dying of cancer all over the country, all over the world. There's people dying of hunger all over the freaking world. There's people that cannot afford a decent vehicle, cannot afford to support their family, cannot afford to have a decent place to live all over the fucking world. And you, even though you have $500 or $600 million, you cannot help out everybody. And that's going to be your life. You either give money out to everyone and bleed you dry, which is still not going to help any of the major problems in the world. It might help, helps out this one person's story. The person that comes to you and says, "My child's dying of a disease, please help me." Okay, how much do you need? Like, "Oh, well, the surgery's going to cost $250,000. Like, okay, here, take $250,000. Yay, you saved my child, thank you so much. And then that story's going to spread, that you helped that person out, that you helped their child out. And then guess what's going to happen? Everyone's going to show up at your front door. Everyone's going to be sending you mail. Please help me. Please help me. I have no one else to turn to. I need money for this. Some might be legitimate. Others might be complete scams. But there's some that are, that's the sad thing. You know, everyone needs money. You know, I'm sure there's going to be people that are going to send you messages that are just be like, hey man, I just need money because, you know, bullshit reason, but I'm just a scammer, you know? But the fact of the matter is that you could have 1 million people line up out in front of your mansion, and each one of those people could have a very legitimate reason why they need the money. They could have people that are sick. They could be sick themselves. They could all have problems financially that they need paid. They have debts that they owe. They have student loans they need to pay off. But you just can't answer that call for everybody. And that's the sad thing about there's so much suffering in the world, really. That's the underlying theme there, but that's always been the case. So, I'm going to buy a Powerball ticket, and I'm going to lose, just like everybody else is going to lose. But for that one person out there, that one person, and it might not just be one, it could be possible that maybe more than one people win and you have to share and it gets split up, which actually would be a blessing in disguise if you really think about it. But if you win that much money, the smartest thing to do in that situation, in my mind, the smartest thing would be, let's say you get $600 million, okay? And you decide to either, I mean, I guess you could go with the 30-year thing, but still people are going to be, it's the same issue, you know? People are still going to be sending you messages left and right, which is going to happen no matter what you do, but that much money is way too much for one human being, or a group of human beings, or a family, or even generationally, even if you want to give money down the generation. So here's what you do. You actually sit down with your lawyer, or you can hire an entire fucking financial team for that much money. You sit down and you actually consider how much money you need. How much money you need to live comfortably the rest of your life. You don't need to be going off and buying fucking huge-ass and immaculate mansions and islands off the South Pacific. I mean, you don't need to just be burning through your money as quickly as possible. But you figure out how much you would actually need to pay off all your outstanding debts, for, you know, maybe any loans you have to pay off. Oh, and welcome to the world of taxes. You're going to have fun with that. But anyway, let's just disregard that. You figure out how much money you would need to live comfortably with your family for the rest of your life. And let's say, of course, you want to have, you know, for your kids and your kids, you want to have some sort of inheritance going on. You calculate that shit out, and then you dump the rest into charities. You dump the rest into organizations. You figure, you find some organizations that can do some real help in the world, and that can help, you know, end world hunger and shit, and you dump all your money into that shit. It'll probably be way more than half. Because there's also interest, you know, if you put $100 million away in interest, holy shit, that'll gain so much money over the course of the years. But yeah, that's probably what it would be the best option to do. And I'm not even, like I said, I'm not some sort of guy that knows about this stuff. So I'm not really sure if that's even the best option. But to me, that's what I would say to do. But it would be hard to do that when you have that much money on your hands, you know, to give all of it away, or almost all of it away. If I won the Powerball on Wednesday, I'm sure I wouldn't even be taking my own advice. I'd be watching this video right now and be like, fucking asshole, what was I thinking? That was before I was fucking rich, bitch! I pity the poor soul that gets that money. It's going to be great at first, but I think it would just cause way more troubles just because you don't need that much money. I mean, I would love to have extra money. You know, $100,000 jackpot, that would work for me. 500,000, $1 million. Okay, 5 million? Well, I guess for my kids, you know, inheritance-wise, 10 million, 30 million, 50 million. I mean, where are you going to draw the line here on how much money you really need? After a while, you're just going to think, how the hell am I going to spend all this shit? Well, I'm going to start buying, like, I'm going to get a giant life-size model of Voltron in my backyard. That's probably some stupid shit that I would do. And at that point, your mind is just so twisted with money, it doesn't even make any sense anymore. It's just a matter of basically power. You have all the power, so you're going to do it, damn it. Well, anyway, this video's been dragging on long enough, but I hope you understand the gist of it. I hope you get where I'm coming from. This will be Teching 101 signing out. Later, guys, and good luck. Good luck.